It is Monday again. That means that we are going to go over all the MMO news that you may have missed in the past week. World of Warcraft has dropped in an absolute gauntlet of new content for their various game modes. Now, if you were unaware, Warcraft has a bunch of different things going on. So we have World of Warcraft Retail, World of Warcraft Classic, World of Warcraft Season of Discovery, and World of Warcraft Hardcore, and also recently World of Warcraft Plunderstorm. Lots of different content, so let's break it down. Season of Discovery Phase 7 has launched a reimagined Naxxramas raid, as well as the Karazhan crypts. This includes new mechanics, as well as better loot chances for smaller groups. However, the raid can hold up to 40 different players. It is optimized for 20. For Cataclysm Classic, Hour of Twilight arrives on February 18th, which, if you remember, was the climactic finish for Deathwing and his shenanigans. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of the fight, the immenseness of Deathwing, and the raid itself. It was just so good. And honestly, Cataclysm may be one of my favorite expansions out of the choices of World of Warcraft. Also, WoW has released more information on its idea of player housing, which is something that many players have been begging for. Alliance players will have housing areas similar to that of Elwyn Forest, Westfall, Duskwood, just to name a few, while Horde players will have similar areas to Durotar and Ajara. The most important bit of information on these housing ideas is that even if your sub lapses, you won't lose your home. They are tied to your account, and even when you need to take a break from the game, you don't lose it, which is honestly amazing. Low-key, I kind of feel like they took a shot at Final Fantasy XIV with this. Anyway, Final Fantasy XIV releases its information on its new post-Dawn Trail content, Seekers of Eternity 7.2, in their recent live letter, which is scheduled to be out sometime in late March, which will include a new dungeon, a new raid, a new trial, and a new Unreal trial, which is honestly a ton of new content. They've also announced a brand new hairstyle that is available. It's called the Head Hound, which is apparently one that many people have been asking for years. However, they only just put this out. If I remember correctly, it is from Hilda from the Heavensward expansion, so that's like 10 years now. Dune Awakening has given new footage of Arrakis in this flyover video, providing lots of new content for prospecting players to get hyped for. Honestly, thanks to Enshrouded and how much I've been playing that game recently, I've really gotten into the survival crafting game mindset, and Dune Awakening is one that I am very excited for. Now, Dune Awakening has been in closed beta for basically ever, and we really don't know too much more other than what little scant information has been released to us. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen has upgraded to Unity 6, which now includes lots of performance improvements, as well as better lighting and a lot of other quality of life changes. Pantheon is one of those MMOs that if you really enjoy the grind and you like to work, it's going to be the game for you. But hot damn, I can see why this MMO is enjoyable. I mean, pushing your face up against a wall to get the bare minimum of gear and skills, it's actually super rewarding, not going to lie. Throne and Liberty has seen a large decline in popularity as well as player engagement, as they have decided to consolidate a lot of their servers to make the world feel more engaging and fuller with what player base there still is. And honestly, that's a good thing. Everyone loves to call out a dead MMO or a dying MMO, but hey, if they can come together and make it feel more lived in, people will still play it. Elder Scrolls Online has released its first Golden Pursuits campaign for the month of February, and it is Love Calls from Tamriel. It seems like the focus of these tend to be cosmetic for your character, as well as the Valentine's Day event that's just going on here. Now, I've only played ESO for about like 20 hours, and it felt engaging, if not super repetitive, but perhaps people have had a different experience. Maybe not for me. DC Universe Online, remember that superhero MMO that is still around, by the way, has had to delay its recruitment event, which was aimed to have new and veteran players create new MMO characters and level them up to level 30. You'll get quite a few rewards if you do so in the form of the Ultimate Recruitment Cash. Honestly, I love the idea of having an older MMO do this to try to encourage new players to give it a shot and try it out, as well as giving veteran players a reason to come back and log in again. I am all about it. Maybe I need to give that game a try. I've always felt like Superman anyway. Lost Ark is celebrating its 3rd anniversary in the West with a new event, the Anniversary Island, and other free gifts, as well as including this really cool infograph to show some of the player-based stats, and it shows a lot of different interests, and it shows a lot of interesting things, like the most popular DPS class being the Soul Eater, as well as the Stare emote being the most popular used. Lost Ark is one of those MMORPGs that I pseudo don't include under the MMO umbrella, because it is kind of more a top-down ARPG, but I mean, with tons of different players and features that kind of fall into the MMO category. I mean, I guess. Warframe's TennoCon 2025 has sold out tickets almost immediately, which is honestly crazy, as they went hotter than any Taylor Swift tickets that I've ever seen. But this is causing some dismay in the community, as many are believing that bots are buying tickets to this event only to sell them back to players at a higher cost. Let's be serious, this is not something that anybody really enjoys, but it's 100% of a reality I've seen with most large events, even outside of gaming, so hopefully they'll be able to crack down on this. Black Desert Online has made adjustments for their sailing content available on PC, which honestly, until I researched this on BDO, I had no idea that they even had sailing content. Apparently they have made some general quality of life improvements for the features, as well as BDO looking for some class tweaking on the mobile version. I remember way back when, before BDO was even on Steam, I tried it out and honestly I thought I was going to infect my computer, which in hindsight, downloading the game and then removing it after 5 hours of gameplay, I mean, the deed would have been done. My computer would have been trashed, but hey, anyway, maybe I was wrong about that game. Stars Reach is a Kickstarter MMO that has dropped some news about their ambitious goals of reaching a few 100,000 players and a game that will last for decades. This MMORPG is looking to launch sometime within the next year, and of course having some flexibility depending on how much is made through this Kickstarter push leading up into their development. Now, I will say that early Kickstarter MMOs are frequent and hopeful, but in my experience, many of them never make it to alpha, let alone early access or even a full release. This is going to be one of those ones that we keep an eye on and we'll see what they do, but I am not going to be drinking all the copium. I've included a link for all the information of this post in the description below. That basically wraps up the MMO news this week that you may have missed. If you want to keep up to date with all the different MMO news, make sure to subscribe to the channel and check back in on next Monday for more information. Remember to use code CDG for 15% off of your entire order at coffeecold.com. You get yourself a cup of coffee, you get me a cup of coffee, everything's going to be grand. Anyway, here we go. As always, stay caffeinated, folks.